Recently, Insomniac Games announced they'd be releasing a new Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 5. So with that in mind, I figured we could look at the lore of one of our beloved childhood heroes. Hey guys, Hijinx here, and I want to take us on a journey to look at the lore behind Ratchet from the Ratchet and Clank series. This will be a watered down overview, but I must say there will be spoilers ahead for those who may not have played through the series. So without further ado, let's look at the lore of our favorite Lombax. Ratchet was born on Fastoon in the Polaris Galaxy. He was the son of Caden, the Keeper under the Dimensionator. Caden stayed back to protect the Dimensionator, while his people escaped from Percival Tachyon's attack on Fastoon. Thus, Ratchet grew up as an orphan on Veldin in the Solana Galaxy. Ratchet works as a mechanic on Veldin, looking up to the heroes of the Solana Galaxy, such as Ace Hardlight and Captain Quark. He always dreamt of one day exploring the galaxy, even making a ship. Ratchet, using the Gadgetron help desk, checks to see what he will need to do to complete a ship, discovering he would need a robotic ignition system. Also around this time, a manufacturing plant for robots in another planet in the galaxy is making Sentry Bots. A machine at the plant malfunctions and creates a smaller inferior bot called XJ0461. Upon watching a message from the infobot about Chairman Drek's plan to create a new planet by harvesting the parts of the other planets in the galaxy, XJ0461 flees. Electroids follow XJ0461, shooting him down over Veldin. Ratchet sees the crash and goes to investigate. Ratchet gets to the area where XJ0461 crashed, seeing the robots in standby mode. Ratchet carries XJ0461 to his garage, leaving him on a rock so he can return to it after he finishes his ship. While finishing up the last calibrations on his ship, XJ0461 wakes up and startles Ratchet by approaching him to ask a few questions. Through their conversation, Ratchet learns about Drek's plans and the invading forces on Novalis. He also learns that XJ0461 is on a journey to contact Captain Quark. Ratchet does not agree to help due to his lack of a robot ignition system to leave the planet. XJ0461 tells Ratchet that he can start his ship as he's been equipped with the latest in robotic ignition systems if Ratchet were to help him in stopping Drek. After seeing 3 Electroid ships land on the surface of Veldin, Ratchet agrees to help. While flying together, the two do their standard conversation. XJ0461 introduces himself as B54629. Ratchet decides to call him Clank after a sound made when XJ0461 flew against the wall of the ship. They soon crash land on Novalis after the ship collides with a cliff face. They travel to the destroyed Tubrick crater and save the planetary chairman from Drek. The chairman gives them an infobot revealing that Captain Quark filmed a commercial on Kerwin. The chairman gives them a courier ship, which they use to travel between planets. They explore the sewer system and purchase an infobot, which shows the famous hoverboarder Skid McMarks and his agent under attack and crash landing on Iridia. They go to Metropolis on Kerwin, where Clank is upgraded by Big Al. They get coordinates to Eudora, then head to Iridia, where they save Skid. Ratchet and Clank head to Eudora, where they have a confrontation with the robot lieutenant. Ratchet and Clank head to Rilgar to meet with Captain Quark, where he tells Ratchet about how impressed he is with him and how he would make a great hero. He brings the two to his headquarters, where he told them he needed the two to complete the hero's course to become heroes. They go through the course, but Quark released the Blargian Snagglebeast to kill them. He reveals he's the spokesperson for Drek's new planet and he won't let them interfere. After they defeat the Snagglebeast, they see an infobot that shows a commando on Battalia, who requested assistance to help him fight the invasion from the Blarg. Ratchet was still angry about being set up by Quark and wanted revenge. Clank tells Ratchet that they need to stop Drek from putting innocent lives in danger. They end up taking Quark's Tor shuttle, Ratchet deciding to help since he needs Clank to start his ship. They get to Battalia and make their way to the opposite side of where the Bolt Crank was. For making it so far, they are given an infobot by the Commando as a reward. The infobot shows Ratchet and Clank the coordinates to the Blarg's former home planet, Orxon, which is very polluted. They also pay a deserted soldier for an infobot that gave them the coordinates to Gasper, where they found the pilot's helmet. After arriving on Orxon, Clank explores alone as the air is too polluted for Ratchet to breathe. Clank finds Magna Boots and an infobot that leads him to the Jawai Resort in Pokataru. Here, they get an O2 mask for Ratchet before returning to Orxon. After getting to Orxon, an infobot reveals Drek's plan to destroy an unknown and unnamed planet with the Planet Buster Maximus. After stopping the Planet Buster Maximus, they go to Gemlik Base, where they encounter Quark again, but defeat him this time. They find infobot that shows the destruction of Gorda City on Ultanis. This makes Ratchet realize it was selfish to focus on Quark when he should have focused on stopping Drek. Ratchet and Clank make amends and board the Blarg fighter, heading to Ultanis. Ratchet explores alone since Clank attracted lightning from the storm. He finds Captain Quark at an old Gadgetron stand trying to pass himself off as Steve. Ratchet asked him where Drek was, but Quark gave him a Gadgetron PDA. Upon exploring more of Gorda City, he purchased an infobot from Sam, which advertised Ultramech Unlimiteds on Quartu, the planet where Clank was made. They get to Quartu and help a scientist destroy the Ultramechs he helped create. The scientist gives them an infobot for their help, which gives them information to the Gadgetron site on Kalibo 3. They meet the CEO of Gadgetron, and Ratchet volunteers to represent the new hoverboards. He gives them a hologuise, and they go back to Quartu to infiltrate it. Upon searching the facility, they run into a sentry that Clank refers to as Mom. An infobot comes to reveal Drek is planning to destroy Veldin, using the newest invention, the deplanetizer, to place his new planet into ideal orbit. They go to Drek's fleet and find out Drek's location and where he'll be placing his deplanetizer. When they encounter Drek on Veldin, he reveals that he was the one who polluted his planet and was making money in the process. He planned to repeat the process on his new planet once it is populated. Ratchet and Clank kill Drek and use the deplanetizer to destroy the new constructed planet. Nearly a year later, Ratchet and Clank appear on a holovision show called Behind a Hero, but during a break in filming, they are teleported to the Bogon Galaxy by Abercrombie Fizzwidget, the CEO of Megacorp in Bogon. He tells Ratchet and Clank about an unknown thief stealing their most valuable experiment, Protopet aka Experiment 13. Clank is reluctant to help and decides not to join. Ratchet accepts and receives a full suit of armor and training. The unknown thief hires thugs for less to help. Ratchet tracks the thief's location to Aranos on Sector 7 and infiltrates the base. The thief escapes with the experiment before Ratchet can get it. Ratchet goes to Uzla to find more information on the thief's location, finding nothing. However, he receives a transmission from Fizzwidget that leads him to Mokhtar Resort. While this is happening, the thief kidnaps Clank. Ratchet finds out from a transmission on the Mokhtar Resort and goes to save Clank. After reuniting, Clank decides to help Ratchet with his mission to retrieve the experiment. The two receive a transmission from the Thug leader, which leads them to their rendezvous in the Felsen system. They disrupt the rendezvous and receive the coordinates of Notak, where the thief happened to be. However, they were too late, and when the two got to Notak, the thief was gone. The two continue looking for information and end up confronting the thief on Siberius, defeating her and reclaiming the experiment. Ratchet and Clank meet with Fizzwidget on Tabora, where he lands on their ship, crushing it. After being ejected from Fizzwidget's ship, they travel on, being confronted by the thief. She demands they give her the experiment, but falls off the ship, revealing herself as Angela Cross, a former employee of Megacorp. She warns them the experiment would doom the galaxy and shows them the broadcast about Megacorp's testing facility on Dubbo. After fixing their ship, they go to Dubbo and discover that Angela was telling the truth about the Protopet. They go to Fizzwidget trying to convince him to destroy the experiment, but ultimately fail. Ratchet and Clank discover an ad for the experiment, which is being cloned for a mass release. The Thugs for Less end up terminating their contract with Angela to work for Megacorp to protect Fizzwidget. On Boldan, Ratchet and Clank were falsely accused of attempting to assassinate Fizzwidget and are imprisoned on the flying base on Aranos. Ratchet and Clank escape and come across a transmission from Angela, which shows her being captured on the Thug ship. Ratchet and Clank go to the planet, Gorm, to take down the Thug's fleet. They receive coordinates to Snivelak, where they take down the Thug leader and free Angela. Angela shows Ratchet and Clank a transmission that reveals a large amount of protopets being shipped from the distribution facility on Smog. Seeing this made them realize how much danger the galaxy was in. They decided to go to the Megacorp headquarters on Yeatle to stop the danger of protopets for good. As they infiltrate the headquarters, an infobot stopped them from entering the duplication room for the protopets to warn them about Quark, who was using the protopets to repair his reputation. Fidget appears, shooting the infobot, and reveals, in fact, he was Quark all along. Quark takes the three hostages and claims on live television they were the ones responsible for the protopet, and he would stop the protopets utilizing Angela's helixomorph. The helixomorph misfires due to the batteries being backwards and causes the protopets to mutate and eat Quark. Ratchet and Clank beat the protopet, and Angela, utilizing the helixomorph, makes all the protopets docile. Ratchet and Clank find Fizzwit, who'd been trapped in a supply closet by Quark. He is grateful for their help. After the whole Protopet conflict, Ratchet and Clank are playing games watching TV when they see a broadcast about the Tyrannoids attacking Veldin, acting on behalf of Dr. Nefarious. They rush to Veldin to help out, and the Galactic Rangers, believing Ratchet to be their sergeant, ask for him to help lead the defense. After a successful defense, they are contacted by the Galactic President, who explains about Dr. Nefarious. He asks Ratchet and Clank to find the only man to survive a fight with Dr. Nefarious, believed to be living on Florana. They get to Florana, landing in Nabia Forest, where they encounter the Florana Tree Beast, forcing them to take the path of death. After making it through, they discover the Florana Tree Beast was in fact Quark, who lost his memory and sanity. Ratchet and Clank led Quark and his one-eyed monkey companion Scrunch to the ship. The Starship Phoenix captain, Sasha, was ordered by the President to assist Ratchet and Clank and gave them coordinates to the ship. They get to the ship and take Quark to his new temporary living space, which was a cage with a tree. They then met up with Sasha out front of the ship, where she was listening to a distress transmission from the President on galactic capital of Marcadia. Nefarious interrupted the transmission and declares wars on squishies, aka organic life forms. Ratchet and Clank rush to Marcadia to assist the Galactic Rangers in protecting the President. After getting to Marcadia and clearing the courtyard, they were given the task of venturing to the laser defense facility and restore the power to the defense grid. When they reached the end of the facility, they discovered Big Al fixing the defense grid, listening to a Captain Quark vidcomic, which they asked for in order to help Quark get his memory back. They returned to the Phoenix, where they played the vidcomic for Quark, sparking his memory to return. While Quark got adjusted to his surroundings and fully regained his senses, Sasha showed Ratchet and Clank an advertisement for Annihilation Nation, where Courtney Gears was presenting a Tyra-Guise, a gadget allowing its user to turn into a Tyrannoid. Ratchet and Clank go to participate and end up winning the Tyra-Guise. They return to the Phoenix and they learn that the President put Quark in command of the war and that Quark created the Q-Force while they were away. The Q-Force consisted of Ratchet, Clank, Big Al, Skid McMarks, Sasha, Scrunch, Quark, and Helga von Streisenberg. The team was assigned a mission to infiltrate Dr. Nefarious' underwater base on Aquatos to acquire as much information as possible on his villainous plans. After fighting their way through sewers with Skid McMarks, Ratchet and Clank split up and meet on the surface. Clank and Scrunch travel through the ventilation shafts and use the Tyra-Guise to get past the Tyrannoids. They meet up in a room where they discover that Nefarious is actually a huge secret agent Clank fan. Clank then discovers an encrypted star map to Tyrannosis, the home planet of the Tyrannoids. Nefarious is shocked and outraged to hear the infiltration of his base and that Quark was behind it. Big Al decrypts the star map, allowing for Quark to draw up a plan to invade it. Ratchet and Clank and Scrunch destroy the planetary defenses, allowing them to infiltrate the control room of the Tyrannoid base to destroy it and defeat the Queen of Tyrannoids. Ratchet and Clank return to the Phoenix to share their experience with the team, but Nefarious sent the Q-Force a transmission, which Big Al traces to the planet Dax. Ratchet and Clank get to Dax, they explore the weapons facility and come across secret plans for the Bio-Obliterator, a weapon that is capable of wiping out all organic life. Clank also discovers a transport ship left for the Albani moon system the day before. They discover Courtney Gears is in support of Dr. Nefarious. They travel the first two moons, finding Skid on the second. The third moon was protected by an Omega-class disintegration shield. Ratchet receives a message from the Galactic Rangers asking for assistance against the Tyrannoid invasion of Blackwater City. Ratchet and Clank went to Rilgar to help with the successful defense of the Ranger base, while Skid stayed to try break. Ratchet and Clank went to Rilgar to help with the successful defense of the Rangers base, while Skid stayed to try breaking down the defense. They realized they needed to find Courtney Gears and thus returned to Annihilation Nation to receive a prize. Clank then asked her about Nefarious's whereabouts. The two worked out a deal in which she would tell him if he got her a part in the Secret Agent Clank show. Clank told her to meet him at the Holostar Studios, where they shot the scenes for the film. Ratchet, playing as Clank's chauffeur, was fired for accidentally pressing the ejector seat and was forced to wait at Clank's trailer. When the filming ended, Clank asked Courtney for information on Nefarious, but Gears incapacitated him and brought him directly into Nefarious's office. He gave Clank two choices, to either join him in killing all squishies and ruling the galaxy full of robots, or to die with squishies and become a traitor to his own kind. Back at Clank's trailer, Ratchet was ambushed by the Tyrannoids. After fighting his way back to the ship, he found Clank. When Ratchet asked him about the whereabouts of Nefarious, Clank said he found out that Nefarious was on a star cruiser called the Leviathan, although when Ratchet entered the ship, Clank's eyes turned red. The two landed on Obani Draco, the third moon, after Skid revealed that he was able to bring the shield down, but while sharing this information with them, he ended up being kidnapped. This moon was revealed to be Courtney's hideout. They also discovered that the Bio-Obliterator was currently stationed there. They quickly traversed the moon and defeated Gears. Upon finishing her off, they received a transmission from Sasha, who tracked the Leviathan to the Zeldrin starport. They left behind Skid, who had been transformed to a robot, so that the Q-Force could retrieve him later. The two headed for the starport to meet up with Quark. The three boarded the Leviathan and fought their way through hordes of enemies until they found Nefarious waiting. Nefarious revealed that the Leviathan was placed as part of a trap before he activated the self-destruct system and teleported away. Ratchet and Clank escaped the Phoenix, but Quark stayed behind, claiming he saw something important that he could not leave without. Ratchet and Clank flew off just as the Leviathan exploded, but still debating whether to leave Quark behind. After an impromptu funeral for Quark on the Phoenix, Ratchet and Clank flew to the city of Metropolis, the next city that the Tyrannoids attacked. During the battle, Nefarious used the Bio-Obliterator to turn helpless citizens and Tyrannoid invaders alike into robots. Ratchet battled his way to a hovering train, where it was revealed that the real Clank had been a prisoner of Dr. Nefarious since the filming of Secret Agent Clank. Clank had been replaced by a clone made by Nefarious called Clunk. After defeating the now enlarged Clunk, Ratchet and Clank were reunited and flew to Zeldrin to investigate the wreckage of the Leviathan, hoping to find what Quark was looking for. On Zeldrin, they discovered an encrypted data disk, the master plan, and a recording that revealed that Quark had escaped when the cruiser went down. Fearing that the team would lose hope, they resolved not to tell them that Quark was alive until they found out why he faked his death. After playing a vidcomic that contained possible information as to the whereabouts of Quark's hideout, they flew to the Thran asteroid belt, where they found Quark himself, who had abandoned his fight against Nefarious in favor of comfort and safety of his hideout. Ratchet left in disgust, but Clank made one last appeal to Quark, claiming that he had the chance to become the hero he had always wanted to be. When they returned to their ship, they received a garbled transmission from Sasha warning them that the Phoenix was under attack. Ratchet and Clank sped to the starship and helped the Galactic Rangers regain control of the ship and free the captured Q-Force members. After being rescued, Al told Ratchet that he had finally cracked the encryption on the data disk, which contained a complete copy of Nefarious's battle plans. Ratchet and Clank had to fly to the planet Koros to destroy the Bio-Obliterator before it was unleashed on his beloved home, Veldin. However, Sasha soon reported the second Bio-Obliterator was housed at a command center on Mylon, guarded by an entire army of robot Tyrannoids who expected the duo's presence soon. Ratchet and Clank flew to Mylon, fought through the command center, and confronted Nefarious and Lawrence, who began to make their escape. Luckily, a Galactic Ranger dropship arrived for Ratchet and Clank to pursue Nefarious to his launch site. At the launch site, Ratchet and Clank bound Nefarious. After a short duel, Nefarious fooled Ratchet into a false sense of victory by falling down and begging for mercy. With Ratchet distracted, Nefarious made another escape, the two pursuing him through large fields of enemies that tried to stop them. With the help of the Galactic Rangers, they managed to catch up to him and defeat him for real. Nefarious and Lawrence then warped into the Bio-Obliterator, which transformed to a giant mech. When the battle seemed lost, Quark flew in to help fight alongside them. Ratchet and Quark engaged in aerial combat against Nefarious and the Bio-Obliterator, eventually destroying it. The Bio-Obliterator entered a 60-second self-destruct mode, forcing Nefarious and Lawrence to teleport into the depths of space on an asteroid. And that is the lore of Ratchet for the first 3 Ratchet and Clank games. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. And we'll definitely be doing more of these, although we might take a brief break on heftier lore videos and stick to ones that are a little bit lighter to go through, since it did take us a while to piece this together. I hope everyone's having an awesome October and an awesome spooky month, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace.